Hey everybody, it's your radio pal Wes Nussman. It is hot and sunny. Sorry for the glasses, don't mean to be douchey. I guess when you put together a list like this, first off you got to define your topic and your parameters. The big question is what is metal? You know, a lot of people say that about porn, you know it when you see it. Same thing with metal, you know it when you hear it. And you got to look at the dividing lines, too. It's like I could not bring myself to put Van Halen on this list. But Van Halen kicked off all the metal in the 80s. All of it. If I thought Van Halen was metal, they'd be number 2 on this list. But I just somehow think their legacy, while a good legacy, doesn't keep them in the metal genre. Even David Lee Roth used to define the band as big rock. Then, of course, when you're putting the list together, you got to decide what are you listing here. Are you listing best? Are you listing most authentic? Whatever. I keep it simple. These are the ones that are my go-to albums, the ones that I would listen to, or the ones that meant something to me. I'm not presumptuous enough to say best. So with that out of the way, let's get the list. Number 1, Black Sabbath, Paranoid. No dispute there. That was number 1 on Rolling Stone's list. Totally agree with that. I might, if I was at the house, put on the greatest hits we sold our soul for rock and roll. But Paranoid, as far as a studio album, number 1 on the list. Number 2, UFO Lights Out. If you go to the guys at Metallica and ask them who their top influences are, they're going to say Diamond Head and UFO. As a matter of fact, I'm very, very surprised that they haven't covered UFO. In fact, I think UFO's live album, Strangers in the Night, might have made Lars's list. Number 3, Slipknot, Volume 3. I'm not a poser, man. Iowa was Slipknot saying, hey, we got this idea. Volume 3 for me is where the idea coalesced and became something. Number 4, for me, the Metallica album is Ride the Lightning. I just think that that's where, once again, they crystallized their vision of what the band was, is, and was going to be. Number 5, AC/DC Powerage. I don't know why that's my favorite AC/DC album. It just struck me better than Dirty Deeds or Highway to Hell or even Back in Black. It's just my favorite. And, it's kind of cool, too, because Axl Rose has been playing Riff Raff with Angus Young in concert. So that's cool. Number 6, Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East. Judas Priest has had I want to say a crappy recording career, because I don't think Judas Priest has been properly captured on record, except for the Screaming for Vengeance album, which came along much later. So the live album, Unleashed in the East, I thought did the best job of defining who Judas Priest was, and of course it was the one I enjoyed the most. Number 7, Korn, Issues, one of my tougher choices on here. I was a latecomer to the Korn game, but Issues really hit home for me, really meant a lot to me, and I spent a lot of time with that. Number 8, Ozzy, Diary of a Madman. Now, not many people know, but Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, the first 2 Ozzy solo albums, they were recorded at the exact same time. If CDs were around back then, or downloads, you probably would have got that as one album. But for some reason, I liked Ozzy's Diary better than Blizzard. Don't know why. Number 9, Dio, Holy Diver. Same thing with Dio as with Ozzy. The first couple solo albums, pretty much, it's a toss-up. But Holy Diver just seemed to be better to me. And lastly, Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast. Man, imagine working nights at a radio station at 12 midnight and you play that little opening to Number of the Beast where the guy is doing the narration. I believe it was Orson Welles. Crazy stuff. Those are my favorites. You know what? Go ahead and list yours. Maybe there's something cool there that I need to hear. Honorable mentions. Once again, the Van Halen was a tough one. Alice in Chains. Does that belong on a metal list? I just don't define that as metal. I don't. Kiss Alive, the first one, that meant a lot to me. Scorpions, Blackout, Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry. Those are my choices for metal albums. Little old school. There's a little new stuff in there, but I hope you enjoyed the list.